Hey, what is going on the YouTube? This is Robert, and today I'm bringing to the full drop list for this week, which is week 5 of the full winter season. And yeah, to be honest, there isn't really a massive amount to say for this week. I mean, obviously we've got a lot going on, would be the way to put it, because we've got I think it's going to be a rather expensive accessory, but it's a cool accessory at the end of the day. We've then got American Psycho, obviously featured this season, which I'll talk about in a bit. I found a bit funny that like Palace did the movie adaptation and then Supreme go ahead the next season following that with the book adaptation. Obviously Supreme get things done ahead of time, but yeah, it's funny how that timing sort of goes. But other than that, we do have a couple of okay pieces for this week and some things that I think are nice. Colorways are decent, but as an overall, we obviously haven't got a ton. I think it's probably only like 12 to 16 items. So yeah, that's probably how the rest of the season's going to go in the end, that we're not going to have a lot dropping. But as per norm, let me know down below whether or not your items from last week or maybe even the week before, whether they've arrived or not, and whether or not you've picked anything else up in the meantime, or if you hit anything that dropped over the weekend. But yeah, let's just get into this drop list anyway. Okay, so let's just jump straight into this week basically and kick things off with obviously the piece that I said being the Windmile. Yeah, I'm going with that dartboard set that Supreme obviously releasing. We've seen a couple of these from Palace previously, which people have been a little bit disappointed with that aspect to it, because it's basically just like the bog standard dartboard. People who are really into it are kind of like, yeah, could you just put in a little bit more effort? But you know, it's just one of those things at the end of the day. Now, Palace charged a premium just for the dartboard itself specifically. I feel that Palace across the board for a lot of things don't really seem to overcharge, whether that's tees, hoodies, even their accessories and other pieces. But the dartboard is like that grey area where they decide to up the retail, and I've got a bad feeling when it comes to Supreme and retails basically. So I mean, it's cool, it is really cool, and if you can get it, it'd be great. But here's the thing, standard retail on one I believe is like 70 to 90 pounds ish. I mean, it's dependent on like the type and the model. I can even look it up. So yeah, maybe even less. Some of them can be like 58 to like 75 pounds. Some a little bit more, maybe 80, 90. Here's the thing, it's Supreme, so with that, personally for me, I don't trust that it would be, if it is like 70 or 80, phenomenal, great, that's, you know, that's amazing, thank you Supreme. But in my mind, it's not gonna happen. I really genuinely have like one of those bad feelings where it could just be the mid hundreds, like 150 to 200, and if it is, I don't think it will put people off. I think it would still sell out within that price range, but I don't know, shipping and everything for it I feel would be quite difficult for people, so it'd probably be like a collection only type, like if you were selling it. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. If people get it, it'd be even better for those who actually play darts. I do not, I'm terrible, so yeah. But yeah, I just always get a bad feeling when it comes to Supreme and accessories. Like, even if it's not with a collaboration or with a specific brand, I feel like very off when it comes to Supreme and their accessories that have like a little bit of a high retail. Last week was different. Last week it was within that range, which was cool. But yeah, I don't know about that. Next up, we have the controversial book that then went on to be like a multi-million like copy seller in the end, being American Psycho. Controversial mainly because of all the violence and everything that's depicted in it. That's basically it. I mean, you can watch the film if you want to discover, you know, the aspects as to why, but reading the book would do you like, or do American Psycho better justice. I mean, Christian Bale did a really good job anyway, but now the thing about it that I find funny is how like the book itself was controversial because of how like the violence and everything that went on was depicted, and then the film was more so the same, you know, it's very violent and everything, and like certain age groups were told not to go and see it. And then you go to like nowadays where it's just like almost a meme. Yeah, it's just a meme where it's like based, isn't it? And people calling him like alpha and everything, and I think it's quite funny that that's like how the reversal has gone, where people are so outraged, whereas nowadays they're just like, yeah, based. So from there we move on to the Mitchell and Ness Downtown Hell baseball jersey. Another quite clean baseball jersey. Hopefully the retail is a lot lower than the last one, because that was surprising. But yeah, I mean, jerseys and things of the sort have been more sought after as of late. I still feel like the championship jersey, with how the designs went with it and how the patches were with it, is probably still going to be the peak of jerseys. If the retail on the Hebrew one was a lot lower, it would have been better, but it's just one of those things. I think this is perfectly fine. Colourway wise, it's a little bit difficult, but it'd probably be between the black or the white colourway. I feel that the graphic on the back is probably going to make some people shy away from it, just because it's not exactly their cup of tea, I suppose would be the way to phrase it. But yeah, I do like the green colourway, but I don't know how I feel about this almost like yellow/gold accent going on, almost orange it's going into that's around the edge. It doesn't really do it for me. I think that the graphics included are really cool. I don't know how I feel about the 4am Downtown Hell, but obviously it is artwork by Andre Thompson in the end, so maybe it is something in relation. But yeah, we can move on from that onto the Gore-Tex Infinium Windstopper Leather Varsity Jacket. God, try and say that 3 times over. This was a piece that I actually really liked, to be honest, mainly because of the large spell out across the back. It takes me all the way back to like Fall Winter 17, where we had the large spell out on the faux fur jacket, and yeah, it takes me back to all of like the cooler jackets as well, like the Gucci looking one that had the same sort of spell out to it and everything. And yeah, obviously this doesn't stand out as much in the end when you are looking at it, but personally I think that the blue colorway is probably the best for the job, to see how like legible the text is. The other 2 colorways are perfectly fine. I mean, across the board they're all great, they all serve their purpose, but I think in terms of being able to really see the detail, it's going to be like this baby blue tone, or light blue as they've put. So yeah, from there we can move on to the Umbro Cotton Ripstop Track Jacket. They've gone quite simple with it this season with Umbro. I'm not really a fan of how the back looks on the orange tone. I think that the black and the white are probably a lot better. In terms of being able to read it, black colourway is probably the best, but in terms of how it looks, white's quite nice, or this like almost cream tone, even if they have called it white. I think the black colourway though is the best out of all of them. So yeah, we then move on to the American Psycho work shirt. I didn't even talk about the sweater. Personally, I think that the black colourway is amazing, it works really well. I really like this dark green tone, or green that they've got. The, I don't know what I'd, mustard? Yeah, colourway I think is really great as well, but yeah, probably black or green. I think those are the 2 better tones. In terms of the work shirt, I think that it's black or the white colourway. I'm not really a massive fan of the brown with the border to the piece or the artwork, but yeah, from there we move on to the moleskin work jacket. I think that the black or the pink colourway are perfectly fine in this. Kind of pink, dusty pink, yeah, that's about right. Yeah, can I click? Yeah, I think that's the best colourway though, personally. Black colourway's clean, but I think that the pink is the better tone. Same sort of thing applies for me personally for the moleskin double knee painter pant. I think that the pink is a really clean colourway and really nice. It would actually work extremely well with like my, my mind's gone blank. With my Gambit, that's it. With my Gambit A6, that would go really well. Probably in the jacket. I wouldn't say that you'd go pant, because you wouldn't want that full colour graphic. You want something to sort of separate them. But yeah, black colourway is probably going to be the colourway that people might go for, but personally I do like the pink tones. We then have the Punch Denim Camp Cap. Yeah, I think all of the colourways are perfectly fine. I'd probably more so go for the blue or the Central colourway. The black colourway is nice, but that's just where I veer towards. We've got the Washed Panther hoodie. Yeah, I don't really get this one. Like, it gives a very vintage look with the washed whole thing. Like, it seems like something that's sat in a cupboard for like 15, 20 years and someone's pulling out for the first time that maybe they wore in 2002, you know, something like that. And they're pulling out and like, God, I remember this, and it's extremely soft and it's extremely comfortable. And yeah, but I don't know, I'm just not a huge fan on it. I do like the Supreme text because it reminds me of the Love piece that Supreme chose their own lettering for. But yeah, we then have the Umbro Cotton Ripstop Track Pant, probably black colourway, the Punch Denim Crusher. Either colourway are fine. I think the tan's probably the best though, in just the Crusher specifically, it stands out more. We've got the dyed striped short sleeve top. Not really for me, so we move on to the loose fit striped shirt. I'd probably opt towards the grey-ish tone. I'm not really a fan of the back colourway. We then have the enamel logo 6 panel. black colourway, and I can move on to the Umbro beanie. I'm not really a fan of either of these, I'm perfectly honest. I mean, blue and white's okay on a given day. Black and yellow, I'm not Wiz Khalifa, so we can move on from that, and that is going to cover this week. So, as per norm, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. I mean, personally, I probably wouldn't be tempted by this, because it would be like how many times would I actually wear it. I don't wear a lot of my jackets now, so I won't set that up for failure. But yeah, personally, I think that they're like a solid 8-ish items this week. Yeah. But as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down below. That is going to cover it from me, so I hope that you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you all next time. Peace.